said, oh my gosh, I love your picture so much. Is that your baby sister? And he said, oh, I don't have a baby sister. I said, oh, who's that? He said, oh, that's my mom. And I'm thinking, wow, he feels grandiose. He feels large and central. That's great. That's really great. And he said, and you see how my mom and I, our hands are touching. We're really close. I said, that is so lovely. And he said, and she looks at me with hearts in her eyes. And that's why I've grown so big. So if we could all go home and look at our kids with hearts in their eyes, I promise they will go break. Thank you for having me. Thank you. Questions? If anybody has to go, I totally understand. I'll be staying for breakfast because that spread looks so good. Yes?
So, I mean, this is great advice and we all acknowledge that it's true. How do we remind ourselves daily? Is it like yoga? Is it going
Yes,
to
great question. Great question. She said, we know this is all true. How do we remind ourselves daily? And then you said, is it going to yoga? Yes. It's taking the oxygen mask first. It's calming your neural pathways. Being a parent is a stressful job. It is a 24/7 job. So finding your own tool, hike in the woods with a friend, whether it's working out, whether it's yoga, whether it's meditation, have your kids watch you meditate for 60 seconds. Light a candle before dinner. Before you all sit down to dinner, light a candle. We're all going to be in silence. And for the really little kids, I make sparkly jars where you take like a, what am I thinking of, like a water. Oh, what do they call those? You know, with a little top on it? What? Mason jar. Thank you. Sounds like menopausal brain. Mason jar. That's it. That's it. Mason jar. You take a mason jar, you fill it with water, and you put in little sparkles. And the kids who are too little to just sit and meditate, the teenagers love it. The high school kids love it. If you start practicing this, 60 seconds. You can turn on nature sounds. You can have it be silent, light a candle, pretend it's Shabbat, and literally shake their mason jars and just watch. You're teaching them, I need a moment of peace. They'll eat slower, the conversation flows better. So yes, remind yourself. And then also, we're all going to slip up every day and say, shoot, I got anxious and I threw the barking dog a bone, I stuck a lollipop in his mouth. Or I stuck a gadget in his hand. You can go and take the gadget away. I always say, don't reward with food and don't reward with stuff. You reward with food, you want an eating disorder. You reward with stuff, do you want an entitled kid? I want that Gucci bag now! I mean, who wants to raise that, right? You want to reward with you, time with you. Great question. You do have to remind yourself all the time, and it's a practice. It's like going to the gym. You build a mental muscle of, oh, I have to discipline myself before I discipline my child. So the Disneyland, not the Disneyland, the gay father with the 3 kids, I said, how are you so calm all the time? He's like, my kid will be doing something, and I will literally be like, oh, sweetie, 1 second, I just have to do something in my room. And he goes, I'll go in my closet, I'll shut the door, and go, okay, what are we arguing about, right? So you come at it with calmer energy. We're the holding tank. We are their nervous system. So put a mirror back on yourself. How am I modeling? The Teachers of the Year, and I loved interviewing them. They're all like, okay, so when they want to scream, they whisper. Every single teacher of the year, I'm like, what do you do when you just want to go, fuck yeah? Like, we whisper. Sweetheart. Right? Here, I want to show, right? You can sell anything at a young age. Okay, more questions. Oh, good question. My kids have developed this whiny voice.
There's lots of tones that they have that I know is coming from me.
But the whiny tone is the worst tone in the human language.
Everything is like, Mom.
Yeah, it's grating. It's the worst combination of sounds that, but Ma, it's like, oh, like a dying animal. It's horrible. So I'll tell you Reese Witherspoon's story. She has no whiny children. So when I was interviewing for the book and I interviewed her, I said, I don't understand. I went to preschool with her. I've known your son since he was baby. I've never heard a whine leave his lips. And she said, you have to have the dogma and the mantra. I can't hear you when you use that tone, and you don't speak. I can't wait to hear you when you use a different tone. But right now I can't hear you, and that's it. And you turn your back. You literally turn your back, and guess what happens? The whining poof vanishes. But you have to be consistent. You can't be like the lottery, you keep putting in it, and every 100th one you're going to win the jackpot, because that basically tells them, if I keep whining louder, I'm going to be heard. So you have to say, there are new rules in this house, and we're going to only speak to each other in a tone I can hear. I can't hear that whiny tone, it doesn't feel good to me. So when you want to say something in a lovely tone, I can't wait to hear you. But from now on, anytime you whine, I'm just not going to be able to listen. And if you do that consistently for a week, poof, it vanishes. Great question.
So I'm very lucky because I'm the daughter of 2 pediatricians, which
Ah.
it's good and bad and ugly. But it's amazing. You can have 3 children who look exactly alike and are absolutely nothing alike.
Same recipe, different cookie.
Right, exactly. So I have the oldest who all of that works for, right? And the middle one is it escalates, but like 0 to 60. And so like I do that same thing, right, with my oldest. I can't hear you right now. You need to go calm down, whatever. And my middle one, it's
Oldest follow the rules
right,
so well.
exactly.
And
And it is, I'm telling you, it is the hard, like I can't do it. I mean,
Yes.
like my husband will come home and I'm screaming
Right.
at the top of my lungs. And so he screams, right, because that's what I'm
I
not
love the
like.
honesty.
And
I love the honesty.
but I like literally, I don't know, like we
So
tried all these different
the
things.
technique, and you can look up dialectical behavioral therapy, DBT, they have a chart of like yellow, okay, you're in the green, now you're in the yellow, you're in the red. You want to get it before it goes below. Right? Because when a kid blows, it's literally they flip their lid. This is your primitive brain and this is your higher cortical brain. When kids are in that space, they literally flip off, no joke, their cortical brain and they're an id. They're an impulsive primitive brain, so they can't hear anything. So getting it beforehand, having a discussion when it's not in the moment and you're all screaming at each other, is going back, and I notice you can go from 0 to 40 pretty quickly. Let's look at that. How are you going to take yourself back down? Each kid, no kid grows up under the same roof. Every kid, I mean, if parenting isn't hard enough, they had to do that to us, right? What works for one doesn't work for the other. And that's why you have to study your child with your heart. And see them, and watch as it escalates. That's a long answer, come find me afterwards, because there's much more, but I don't want to get too technical.
Just to pick up on what you were just saying, like once they flip their lid and there's no going back, what do you do if, like I just had a situation this past weekend with my daughter.
How old?
She's 7, she's going to be 8 this week actually, and I could tell she was about to flip her lid, but I had to leave. And I gave her specific things that she could do to not flip her lid, and she was not obviously capable of doing it. And she flipped her lid, and I wasn't home. And I'm just wondering, like, do you not leave? If you have to leave?
I mean, I was thinking that you were going to say the opposite. So when your kid is in the back of the car, and they're flipping their lid and whatever, I tell my clients, pull over. Oh gosh, I can't drive with all this noise, it's not safe. They shut up really quickly. You're in control. Are they paying taxes? Are they paying for private school tuition? Are they paying for, no, you're in control. You're the parent, they're the child. And when we don't have consistent rules, right? And they have too much power. I have so many kids who have too much power and it's unsafe. So in that situation, I love that you left. I'm pleased that you left. I mean, that's a lot of courage.
But it wreaked havoc for 2 hours on my other 2 kids. So that's like why I just am curious. Like,
so she went off for 2 hours?
Yeah.
Okay, so she needs to be regulated. She's like an M&M without a cover. She needs to have her, you kids are like little raw neurons. So we need to work with practicing how do we regulate our feelings before then. Again, see me after. Much longer discussion, but I like that you left.
2 more questions.
2 more questions.
I have a question. How do you limit the kids with electronics and TV? Like, if they come home after school, how many hours TV, how many hours electronics, and how do you limit them? How do you tell them?
Okay, so what I want you to do, first of all, there's no exact answer to that. It's all personal, but it's a great question. I want you to know that I've been at this a long time, and that I had one kid raised without a cell phone. There was Facebook came out his senior year in high school, and other kids raised in the throes of Instagram and Snapchat, right? And the difference in level of attention that kids have who don't spend so much time on the internet is extraordinary. They have tons of, if you want to give yourself fuel, look up any of the research. The more time on the internet, Instagram, Snapchat, the higher rates of depression. The more time on media, the lower rates of attention. The worse amount of sleep, shorter kids because they're staying up. Growth hormones secreted at night, and these kids have electronics in their room, you know? It's like, get the electronics out of the room. So whatever your rules are, they have to be very clear and very consistent because it's a runaway train, and nothing competes with them. And so the little kid's little problem, so true. You don't have a kid saying, screw you, taking the car keys and running off to vape, right? That's when it's tougher. Still manageable, but tougher. Be like a religion with your rules at home. And if you haven't been so far, great, today's your new beginning. Reboot today. Because if you, like I have clients who always come in, I give my 3 and 4 year olds iPad to go to bed. What are you doing, right? What are you doing, right? What are you doing? Well, I'm trying to make my life easier. You are making your life a living hell in about 3 years, right? Last question.
So with the damage I've done already,
Today's the reboot. Today's our reboot.
Can I reverse some? I mean,
Yes.
you can, right?
Yes.
That there's credibility to that do-over.
The do-over is also ownership. I made a mistake. I let you have too much electronic time, and now I know. Blame it on me. I went to a lecture. Dr. Berman said it's bad for your brain. I'll be the bad guy. No, I'm joking. You be the bad guy, because the bad guy's the good guy. The bad guy is the good guy, right? The teacher says, I want to see you rewrite that paper because I know you can do better. That's the good teacher, right? Not just, oh, you got an A, I don't want to bother with you. So you can rewrite it at any point. I'm so sorry. I said you could do 2 hours of electronics at night, and now I notice that you're getting to bed too late and that the homework's slipping a little. I think we have to regroup here. We're going to go to 45 minutes. There is no right number. It's what's right for you and your family, but it has to be like the gauntlet, and you can always go back and rework. And when you do, your kids are going to say, that's not fair. You already did that. Great. Is life fair? Again, more distress tolerance. You're right. It might not seem fair to you, and this is the new rule. Hold the feeling, hold the line.
Because I feel like in every area you've touched upon, I can only speak for myself. I mean, I haven't done the best job in any of those
Done the
areas.
best you can.
Yeah, well, is it true you don't see children? Do you really
I only see the parents. I only see the parents because it's so top down. When you tweak the parents, you tweak the kid. Okay, last question, I promise.
It's just about the social media and phones, but what about the school? Because I have a 7-year-old and he doesn't have a phone, but I believe that the later they have a phone, like wait until 8th is a very good thing.
Oh, and if you could get a group of women in your class and a group of men to go along with a pact. Ray Michaud at JTE, he was the head of John Thomas died for 36 years. He's like, make a parenting pact. Get your friends on play dates. They get this much time with electronics, otherwise they're playing outside. Or no electronics. Or make a pact with the other parents. Because wait until 8th grade. In Europe, they've taken away the phone in middle school. It's law.
What
It's
about
gone.
them doing that, in a school, and the school saying, we're not going to have social media until this time?
Great. That's great. If you guys can make those policies here, you'll be so happy. Thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
Dr. Berman, thank you so much. This was amazing. The turnout was incredible. I think that what is special about our school is that we have a community like this. And, I'm a grandparent, so it's like I'm getting a double do-over now, and I continue to learn. But together, and your ending comment I think is so important. Let's make a pact. Let's say we are in a community. You are here because we have shared values. And so let's use those shared values. Our shared values centering around Judaism, but think about all those things that we learn as Jews to be kind, to do the right thing, to empower our people. So as a community, we can do this together. It's one step at a time. I want to thank you for being here. I want to thank you for inspiring us. I want to thank Sheila and Dahlia and Andy and the Parent Association for providing this, for the beautiful refreshments, thank you. And I have to urge you, you know that we have a candidate for head of school coming tomorrow. Please, you made an effort to be here today. Make an effort, either tomorrow night from 7:30 to 8:30, or Friday morning from 8:15 to 9. You can come to both if you want. It is important. This is going to be a person that is going to lead us going forward. And I truly believe her values speak to what we just heard. So please come and have a voice. It's important to you and to your children. Thank you so much, Dr.
Dr. Berman's books are in the back, so please pick up one on your way out. $12. Purchase one.
Very good. I love it.
Sent it to all my friends. The video, it's going to be on the Japanese.
This is going to be on Japanese?
Yeah, George is going to video.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
How are you? Good. How are you? Good to see you. All right. I will.